all about the different aspects that make you more attractive to mosquitoes. Joseph joins us on the line right now with details on that. Hey, welcome to the program, Joseph.
Hi, thanks a lot, Randall. Really good to talk to you.
So I guess first and foremost, above anything else, mosquitoes are after your blood, right? Or the protein that's in your blood?
Yeah, that's right. The female mosquitoes are biting you to get a particular protein in blood that they need to make their eggs.
And so your blood type, there are differences among the blood types, and some blood types have more things that the mosquitoes might want.
That's right. We don't know exactly why that's the case, but in experiments, they do find that mosquitoes are more likely to land on people with type O blood as compared to type A, twice as often on
Twice
type O
as
blood.
often?
Yeah. And then type B, the third major type, falls somewhere in the middle of that spectrum.
Okay. And then there was another portion in there that had to do with, 85% of people secrete a chemical signal through their skin that indicates which blood type. So those people that do secrete that also are at, if you're type O and you're among that 85%, you're number one.
Exactly. Then the mosquitoes have an easier time of knowing that you're type O because of the secretion, and they like that type more. So that would be the most tasty for mosquitoes.
Now, I have to admit, the other night in our room, we knew there was a mosquito. You know how you hear it by your ear?
Yeah.
That sort of thing?
Right.
So I actually tried to start breathing into my pillow because I knew this one aspect about carbon dioxide, that the mosquitoes can sense your carbon dioxide, and that's how they find you. And I was thinking, well, if I filter it through my pillow, maybe I can keep the mosquito from biting me. Is it true that they can sense the gases that you're exhaling as far as 164 feet away?
Yeah, at least in one study they found that number 164 feet. But that's exactly right. From far range, mosquitoes find us and other animals that they like to bite just by the carbon dioxide that we breathe out. And so generally, if you're breathing out more carbon dioxide, there's a higher chance that a mosquito is going to locate you and come to have a bite.
And you and I are both bicycle commuters, and so when we get to work, we are prime targets for mosquitoes because we're panting heavily and breathing out a lot of carbon dioxide, among some other things that mosquitoes are looking for. Yeah,
that's right. And generally, exercising is going to cause you to be breathing out more carbon dioxide just as your body's going through respiration. So that will be attractive to them, too.
Yeah, and then certain chemicals in our sweat also are sort of like appetizers.
Yeah, and that's something we have a little less control over. Really particular chemicals such as uric acid, ammonia. If you expel more of these, you're going to be more attractive to mosquitoes. But unfortunately, that's pretty much just genetically controlled. So you and I, if we do, can't really do anything about that.
Right. I had heard, and I don't know how much of your research, I don't know whether you can speak to this or not, though, is that mosquitoes don't typically come at you from laterally, or up from above, that they fly over you, and then when they sense, the highest concentration of carbon dioxide and everything else that we've been discussing here, then they drop down. So that's why it's so hard to see them coming at you.
That's interesting. I actually hadn't come across that yet, but that definitely makes sense to me in terms of the fact also that when we exhale gases, some of them are going to go straight up.
Yeah. I mean, I could have dreamt some of that. I don't know, but I believe I heard that somewhere along the line.
Yeah, that would be a strange dream anyway.
How about skin bacteria? How does that play in?
Yeah. So, all of our bodies were covered with billions of cells of bacteria, and that's perfectly healthy, but sometimes that can also attract mosquitoes. So studies have found that if you have lots of bacteria of just a few types, then mosquitoes are more prone to landing on you, whereas if you have lots of bacteria but greater diversity, different species, that they're less interested in biting you for whatever reason we don't understand. And additionally, this also is part of the reason why you're so prone to getting bites on your feet and ankles, just because those harbor the richest populations of bacteria typically.
Interesting. I'll tell you, I don't think there's any worse mosquito bite than the one that's directly on your ankle bone.
Yeah. That's the one I get all the time, personally.
It's always the itchiest of all.
Yep.
That and on the wrist, the corresponding bone on your wrist.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one's going to bum out a lot of our listeners because this is Eat, Drink, Explore radio. But just a single 12-ounce beer can play a difference in whether a mosquito likes you or not.
That's right. Yeah, that was actually a Japanese study that tested whether people who had a beer were, on the average, got more mosquito bites than people who just drank water. And they found that the beer drinkers indeed had more bites. And again, they're not sure why that's the case. It didn't correlate to any particular substance in these people's sweat, but for whatever reason, the beer made them more attractive. We don't know whether that applies to other alcohols or if 2 beers make you even more attracted to mosquitoes or less. We don't have answers to that, but unfortunately, 1 beer makes you more attractive.
Yeah, so this study played out, like you said, just with the 1 single beer as the test. So we don't know whether it applies to wine or, some of the fun summer drinks like mojitos. Who knows? Maybe those do the opposite.
More research is needed, definitely.
How about for women who are pregnant?
Yeah, pregnant women, it turns out, have a really unfortunate scenario in which they are exhaling more carbon dioxide just because they're bigger and they have an entire, another entity inside them. But also, they're a little bit warmer, on average 1.26 degrees warmer. So the mosquitoes sense that warmth and they sense that carbon dioxide, and overall, pregnant women get bit twice as often as non-pregnant women or men.
Whoa! I didn't realize that they ran a higher temperature.
Yeah, pregnant women do run a higher temperature.
Mm-hmm. And that also plays back to the whole exercise thing too. Our bodies heat up during exercise.
Right, that's true.
Now, I know that clothing color can make a difference when it comes to bees and that sort of thing. I didn't realize clothing color played a difference with mosquitoes.
Yeah, it turns out that mosquitoes also just use plain old vision to find us. And so a black shirt or a dark red shirt, really bright, vibrant colors are going to make you easier for them to find as compared to something that blends into the background.
Oh, so like beiges and stuff like that are the way to...
Depending on your environment, right, that would probably make you a little more camouflaged.
Oh, right. So it would have to do with the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And then finally, it always comes down to genetics, does it not, Joseph?
Yeah, unfortunately, in this case. Overall, when you tally it all up, about 85% of the variability between people in terms of their attractiveness to mosquitoes is just genetics, which you can't really do anything about. So even if you stop drinking beer and wear the right color shirt, it won't make a difference.
It just won't make a difference. They want you for you.
Yeah. But the good news in that sense is that there are some people, in that other 15% that are especially unattracted to mosquitoes, and so some researchers in the UK are trying to figure out why. And so they've, used really high-tech machinery to look at the specific chemicals secreted by these people and look at, okay, can we use those chemicals to incorporate them into next-generation bug spray? So rather than just using DEET, use really specific chemicals that we know mosquitoes don't like and are not interested in biting the person.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Use
so,
our own genetics against the mosquitoes.
Right, yeah. Essentially, we all get to be those people who, in the 15%. And, of course, that's still a long way off. That's just preliminary research, but it is a little promising in terms of mosquito bites.
Well, we have a link to the blog so that people can get all the information they need at Smithsonian Magazine. Joseph Stromberg, science blogger there. You've had a lot of reaction to this, and it's a fantastic piece. Good timing on your part. Thank you so much for joining us here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio.
Thanks a lot, Randall. It's been great.
All right, stick around, everyone. We are back in just a moment.